we are in Izmir, Turkey. This is the Basketball Champions League playoffs quarterfinals, and it's the opening leg between Pinar Karsiyaka and UCAM Murcia. Well, it is crunch time, folks. We are at the business end of the season. It's been a long season, a fun season, a season of ups and downs for both of these clubs. But their aim was to get into the playoffs, and the aim also was to go as far as possible. Right now, these two teams doing just fine, thank you very much. If you look at the road to the Final Four, there in the bottom left quadrant, you see the UCAM Murcia upset defending champions Iberostar Tenerife to advance to this stage, and Pinar Karsiyaka, well, they came from behind, having lost the first leg to PAOK Thessaloniki to advance. And it all shapes up to this, another clash between Turkey and Spain, a clash between the passionate supporters here in Izmir of Pinar Karsiyaka. They smell a potential title. They've still got some wins to get, and they better not look too far ahead. They know they've got to beat a very good UCAM Murcia team. Also in the quarterfinals, MHP Reason, Lewisburg, and Midi Beirut playing tonight. And then tomorrow, Banvit against AS Monaco and Ike Athens against SIG Strasbourg. So who's your money on to win this tournament this year, this title, this league, this Basketball Champions League? It's the second edition. Last season, of course, the Final Four was staged in Tenerife, but we know that UCAM Murcia have put paid to Iberostar Tenerife's hopes of a second one in a row. Here's Murcia. They've got a great lineup. Ovi Soko, Erdogan, number 3, Benite, the Brazil international, Charlon Kloof, who plays for the Netherlands point guard, all the way up and down that roster. It's a very good roster. Cleveland Hanna, Brad Olesen, boy, he was huge in that second leg last week against Iberostar Tenerife. I'll talk more about that roster. And for Alexander Trifunovic, for Pinar Karsiyaka, you have to talk about David Kennedy, and you have to talk about Jared Jones and Dominic Waters. It's a terrific trio of players for Trifunovic. Question is, how far can these guys take this Pinar Karsiyaka team? Can they get him into the big show? Can they get him into the Final Four? Well, they're going to have to overcome, again, a team that has some players that are very, very talented. Augusto Lima, the Brazil international, he was immense in the second leg against Iberostar Tenerife for Iban Navarro, the coach there in the middle of your screen. And Augusto Lima, if he continues to play like that, it really will cause problems for any opponent. Never mind Pinar Karsiyaka. Augusto Lima almost with a double-double, and he was also the rim protector in that second leg at Tenerife. But here we have a team that is full of self-belief. Pinar Karsiyaka, certainly in the Basketball Champions League, they like their chances of doing something special, and it all starts tonight against Murcia. And remember, this will effectively be the first half of a tie. It's almost like one big, long game. The first half is played in Izmir, and the second half will be played down by the Mediterranean in Murcia, Spain. Jared Jones, one of the most consistent players in this competition this season for Coach Trifunovic. And Alexander Trifunovic will go over and shake the hand of Iban Navarro. They know each other well. And the reason why they do know each other well is, well, they've met before. That's right. These teams are not strangers. They have played already in the regular season twice. And Pinar Karsiyaka winning both of those games, albeit very close games, winning it 96-91 on November 8th. That was game day 5. That was in Spain and Murcia. And then they played again on game day 12 on January 23rd. And they won that one at home 79-72. So Pinar Karsiyaka, on the evidence of those two games, you would think they would be the team to beat. Certainly, they will have the advantage at home. And this crowd is going to come out and make a lot of noise. You can already hear them. They are warming up. They are in fine fettle. It's all about the excitement of trying to win this Basketball Champions League. Iban Navarro, he knows that the key, perhaps, keep this thing close and then take it home and try to wrap it up in Spain and move on. But he is going to be coaching possession by possession, minute by minute tonight, and he will know that no matter how much time is left on the clock, there's still plays to be made in every single possession. Every play in a tie like this is crucial. You got to take advantage of all your opportunities, and you can't afford to give up, especially any late runs at the end of games, because that's the sort of thing that can kill you. That can really hurt your chances. So, as the teams go through their final warm-ups, and we'll look back at some of the highlights, really, for this Pinar Karsiyaka team. From a statistical standpoint, you have to say that Jones and Kennedy have been their real big-time stars. And the referees tonight as well, Manuel Mazzoni from Italy in the middle, Boris Krajic from Slovenia on the right, and Almkrogers from Latvia on the left. So it's a good refereeing crew tonight, a terrific trio, if you will. These guys have worked a lot of big games, both in international competition and in European competition, club competition, and including in this Basketball Champions League. So when you look back at Murcia and you look back at Pinar Karsiyaka, you have to say that Murcia are going to start with Ovi Soko, Cleveland Hanna, Olesen, Augusto Lima, and Rojas. Rojas brings a lot of energy out there. And Iban Navarro, I remember in his days, he was an assistant coach at Valencia Basket, and it's just kind of like gone from strength to strength since that time. He's coached at Baskonia, and was, I think you'd have to say, did a good job there. He's done a great job with Murcia to get him this far in the competition, but this is what he's up against. You see the crowd. You got Banic, Urulu, DJ Kennedy, Jones, and Gulislan in that starting five for Pinar Karsiyaka. And there's the great man himself, Alexander Trifunovic. I think a lot of people would say he's done a great job in this Basketball Champions League. Well, suppose if you have a surprise in that starting lineup, perhaps for Pinar Karsiyaka, it'd be Gani Erdi Gulislan, 24 years of age. And when you look back at his numbers, and certainly with 7 games played in this Basketball Champions League, that would seem to indicate somewhat of a surprise. And also when you look back at the last tie that they played, Gulislan played 16 minutes, although he did start in that second leg as well. Had 2 points and an assist. There's Trifunovic listening in. So Manuel Mazzoni will be the referee that is going to throw up the opening tip. Well, I was going to say Jones averaged 19.6 points per game in this Basketball Champions League, and Kennedy at 19.4, Waters 14.7. Now Gurlu is a young Turkish international. And there's the passionate fan base that we keep talking about. So it's interesting to see how much Waters does play tonight. But folks, good evening, welcome. We are in Izmir, Turkey, and this is the Basketball Champions League quarterfinal opening leg. This two-legged tie here between UCAM Murcia, who have the ball, winning that opening tip and attacking the basket to the right against Pinar Karsiyaka. And the drive, and Ovi Soko picks up the loose ball, goes up and draws an early foul. And Jones says, I didn't do anything, I just went straight up. But you can see his right arm was lowered. And Ovi Soko misses his first attempt. And Soko makes the second one, comes from Great Britain. And now Kennedy hands it off to Gurlu. So 1-0 lead here for UCAM Murcia. Banic hands it off, and Sadeo Rojas trying to fight through that screen, that pick of Banic is called for the foul. Gurlu gets it back to Jones. Now, Gulaslan, three-pointer. Well, we highlighted him as being somewhat of a surprise, getting the big start for the second playoff tie in a row. And he already comes out and drills a three-pointer. So the crowd is rocking here in Izmir. Jones works his way against Lima, puts it up and in. And Olsen fouled by Gulaslan. So 5 unanswered points here for Pinar Karsiyaka and UCAM Murcia. Trying to get a good look here. Olsen tied up by Gulaslan. So Cleveland Hanna is going to uncork a three and hit it. We talked about the leading scorers for Pinar Karsiyaka. Soko at 12.7 points and Benite at 12.8, leading the way average-wise for UCAM Murcia in the Basketball Champions League. And has been averaging 12.1. Banic drives in and puts it up off the glass and in. And good defense, and then Banic is getting in the face of Rojas. Was it Rojas? Yes, it was. Claiming that he intentionally put his knee out. And he went up to him and said he wasn't going to have that. Look at this. The Croatian veteran. And boy, did he take exception to this right knee. Look at this. Well, I mean, in all fairness, you can't blame him. I mean, it looked suspect. Nevertheless, it's going to be UCAM Murcia inbounding the ball. 8.8 seconds remaining. And the drive and the basket is good. Soko. As Soko goes, so goes Murcia. Well, some people would say that. Or Gulu. Inside the arc, hits it. Karsiyaka come out firing. And now Jared Jones asks his coach to take him out. He limps out of the game. That's not a good sign. And it looked like it was a non-contact injury. Now maybe he's actually aggravated an ankle problem. Strange sequence there for Pinar Karsiyaka. Nobody picks up. Hane drives in, and then the follow from Augusto Lima. Well, if Lima gets it going, look out. He was quite the competitor against the Beer Star Tenerife. DJ Kennedy goes up and commits kind of a cardinal sin in basketball. You don't leave your feet without having somebody that you're going to pass it to. So he turns it over. Now Olesen comes out. Clearly, Pinar Karsiyaka not going to let him get off tonight. Certainly not early. So Navarro brings Erdogan in. Cleveland Hanna over to Lima. That's good. Well, boy, he was outstanding at the Olympics for Brazil in Rio de Janeiro back in 2016. And now here he is on the Basketball Champions League stage and really making a difference for UCAM Murcia. Now DJ Kennedy slips, falls down, and gets tied up. So an inauspicious start for Kennedy. 2 consecutive possessions. And that time, not really his fault. He just hit a wet spot on the floor. So the jump ball possession arrow favors Pinar Karsiyaka. Or the possession arrow, rather, not the jump ball. Orgulu. 3 seconds on the shot clock, 2. He's going to have to launch it. And he doesn't even get it off in time. So that's even better for Murcia. They have to waste their possession arrow, getting just 6 seconds. And now Brian Allen comes into the game. And this will certainly inject some offense. He replaces Gulaslan, who had that three-pointer early. Soko for 3. Now Lima has it. Hanna, good. Boy, Murcia just rising to the occasion. Banic right behind the free throw line. Gets 2 back for Pinar Karsiyaka. And now the drive and the foul called on Marko Banic. Soko's, well, that was called it favored Murcia, so Soko goes back to the line, and here's Waters. And the free throw line is not to Ovi Soko's liking so far. He is 1 of 3. He's missed the front end of his trip so far. Makes the second. There's Waters. Now Allen. Pulls up for 3. And you feel right now the momentum starting to shift towards Murcia. Tell you, this is a team with quality. There's no doubt about it. Hannah over to Lima. Man, Lima puts it up and in. And that's the second jump shot from the same vicinity for Augusto Lima. And it's 16-11 now in favor of the Spanish team. Kennedy gives it to Banic. And Banic misses. Lima with the rebound. Erdison bounce pass, dunk from Big Bad Ovi Soko. And UCAM Murcia have taken an 18-11 lead. Here it is again, the look and the two-handed rim rocker from Soko. Pinar Karsiyaka calling the timeout. Let's go down to the huddle and listen. You see the 2-point shots for both teams, pretty good, and also the 3-pointers. But the rebounding in favor of UCAM Murcia.
That was my fault on that jump shot, but when the foul, like the big man that shoot it, he leaving, so I gotta go.
So some highlights, more highlights certainly for UCAM Murcia, who trailed early, but they've got the wind in their sails right now. They've got a 7-point lead here on Pinar Karsiyaka. And interesting that, you know, this Pinar Karsiyaka team with their rotation. There's Kennedy, hits the mid-range jumper. Of course, we saw Waters playing a lot of minutes earlier in the season along with Wood, but Wood only played 7 minutes in the last, in the second leg against Pauk. There's Erdison with the runner. Jared Jones back in the game, and he misses mid-range. And right now, UCAM Murcia with a chance to stretch it to 9 or maybe even 10 if they could bear a shot from the arc. They're spreading it out. Erdison, Lima, he's shown the ability to hit the jump shot. Man, you've got your big guy out there hitting jump shots. And if he's going to do that, that is real trouble for Pinar Karsiyaka. Now Brian Allen. Waters backs up Cleveland Hanna and draws the foul. Now Augusto Lima reaches around, and that's the kind of foul, really, if you're Augusto Lima, you don't want to be making that foul. Well, certainly if he gets into foul trouble later on, he would regret that one. Kennedy surrounded, and he is fouled. And Murcia don't want to remonstrate too much. And you can see Mazzoni talking to Cleveland Hanna saying, calm down, boys. Calm down. Let us call the game. They thought they had him clean. They thought they had him stopped. We saw the early reaction from Marco Banic when he took the knee from Sariel Rojas. And there's Hanna. And you can see why Hanna was a bit ticked off, because he thought he had all ball, and it looked from that vantage point that maybe he had an argument. But as I'll always say, these things even out over the course of the game. And coming in and missing the jump shot was Allen. He has yet to get it going offensively. Of course, he can get hot. There's no doubt about it. Artisan. And Lima continues to torment Pinar Karsiyaka. And he senses a mismatch there, and he's dead on. And, you know, you go back and you look, you have to go back and look at what he was able to do in that last game against PAOK. And he, you know, he's a game changer. There's no question Augusto Lima playing at the level that he has been playing at in this Basketball Champions League. Now, the only thing is he doesn't want to lose his cool here and take himself out of the game mentally. But boy, the intensity factor is at an all-time high. And Lima, I'm not sure if he was arguing that he got hit in the eye. I think he is. So D'Elia has to come off the bench, the Argentina international, and take the free throw. So it's a strange situation. Lima was able to make his first free throw after being fouled by Turin. But then he had to come out of the game, and D'Elia comes in. And with the second bite of the cherry, makes the free throw. And there's Kennedy battling for the rebound for the offensive putback unsuccessfully. Well, something's gotten into this Murcia team ever since the second leg had appeared to start Tenerife. They have been pretty darn good. There's Erdeson putting up a three, and you have to wonder about that shot. And then that triggers the break, and Allen makes it. What was Erdeson thinking about? Just shot clock winding down. Charlon Kloof, the Netherlands international, in the game now. And he is guarded by Waters. He gets it to Soko. Soko pulls his way up and in. Well, they're going right at Turin. Turkey international. First it was Lima, and then it was Soko. Now Waters puts up a three off the back of the iron. And boy, this thing is not going well for Pinar Karsiyaka right now. Kloof. Erdison looks to Soko, to a wide open Rojas. Dalia goes up for the rebound. Now Soko wide open. That was one of those, I'm going to take this because I'm completely wide open, but Navarro and perhaps even Soko thinking maybe I should have passed that ball off. Clough to his right, the point guard, runs some time. But instead it's going to be Pinar Karsiyaka now with the last shot. It's going to be Waters. Pulls up, passes it back outside of Turan, and they don't get it off in time. They're going to put a little time on the clock. There'll probably be about 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds remaining. So, see what they put here at the end. Reyes has the ball. The referee is going to hand it off to Erdison. I wouldn't be surprised if they just, if they just inbounded it and let the clock expire. .2, I think I read. I'm pretty good at lip reading. Let's see if I'm right. 1.2 seconds. That's what I thought initially, 1.3 or 1.2. And you wonder, why are they spending so much time trying to get, the graphic almost had it. It went too fast. Why are they spending so much time to get this right? But you know what? Every second counts in a tie like this. There it is, 1.2 seconds remains. Well, they certainly don't want to turn it over. And Vitor Benite checked in, he caught the ball, and then the time expired. So that is the end of one. UCAM Murcia, what a start for them. They lead it 26-15 at Pinar Karsiyaka. So Murcia, 2 of 6 from deep, 8 of 9 inside the arc, and 4 of 6 at the line. Pinar Karsiyaka have yet to attempt a free throw. They're 6 of 10 inside the arc, and 1 of 3 from long range. It has been a far more impressive performance by Murcia to this point. And Trifunovic needs to get some things straight over here on the bench. His team looked almost a little dysfunctional, I thought, in that first quarter. So here's some of the highlights from that opening quarter. Remember, it is a 2-legged tie, and Murcia would like nothing more than to get out of here, certainly with any type of win. So to be up by 11 points at the end of one certainly has to fill them with confidence. But they know that there's a lot of time left, not only in this opening leg, but there's another return leg to go. So they've got to keep playing hard and executing and playing defense. And boy, it is hot in the arena and certainly on the court. You could see the intensity, some of the reactions that we've seen from the players. Now Wood has checked into the game, number 15. And right there, he's guarding Olesen, number 12. Now that'll be interesting. You got two premier perimeter scorers, and you need to have a hand in their face. So they're guarding each other, and I would suggest that perhaps defense isn't their strong suit. There's Clough. Out to Benite. Another of the Brazil national team players in this Murcia team. He gets tripped up and tried to make the pass to Soko. I think Soko had to bend over a little bit too much, but even if he'd picked it up, there wasn't enough time on the clock. And Allen drives in, and the foul has been called on Soko. Well, they have got some individual brilliance in this Pinar Karsiyaka team. I mean, any of them can go one-on-one and create. So we just saw a little bit there from Allen. And he's earned a trip to the free throw line, but he misses the first free throw. Of course, he's shown last season with Brian Allen with Ches Nimberg. And he actually started this season with EV Baskets Oldenburg in the German Bundesliga, but he moved to Pinar Karsiyaka in December. Now Wood guarding Olesen. There's Lima. Well, he's been hitting that shot all night. It's like a layup drill for him. Goodness me. Augusto Lima. Well, he is off and flying tonight. Jared Jones puts up a three and hits it right in the face of Lima. And now Reeds in the foul on Wood. Bounce pass to Lima. Now Clough over on the right. And now foul called on UCAM Murcia. No, sorry, they're just going to go get something straight over at the scores table. Shot clock, I think, didn't start. Maybe, yeah, that's right. So there will be, they're adjusting the shot clock. But you certainly can't fault these Pinar Karsiyaka fans for their efforts tonight. They have been utterly amazing. That was a jump shot from Lima. And then this was Jared Jones stepping into one. referee's trying to get everybody on the same page here, and there will be 20 seconds appears on the shot clock. So Brian Allen's going to inbound the ball. Olsen on him. Now Bert Rugurlu. And he gets inside and tries to go up for the reverse. Vantage there for the rebound. Now they're going to find Allen wide open and a little too long. And Vitor Benite grabs the rebound. Clough. Now Lima, who's been the star for Murcia, sets the pick. D'Elia on the baseline. And Pinar Karsiyaka doing a good job that time of making UCAM Murcia take a shot that they didn't want to have. They didn't give anything away to Lima. Much better. And now Jones drives in, scores, and suddenly improved defense. And also Jared Jones starts to become a factor, and it's a 7-point game. And bowled over was Augusto Lima. So the foul has been called. So Allen called for the foul. He will exit, and Kennedy will return. I've seen it happen several times this season where Kennedy didn't look like he was quite at the races early on, and then all of a sudden he took over the game. And we'll see what type of Kennedy we're going to have now that he's had a little bit of time on the pine. He's going to come out and really start to assert himself. Olsen. Wood doing a good job on him. Lima left open, and he is automatic. Look at him. Somebody call the fire department. He is smoking hot. He is unreal. And Wood has the ball batted away. D'Elia hands it off to Clough. Whips it over to Olsen. Couldn't catch it cleanly. But then Wood commits another foul as Olsen put the ball on the deck and started to go to the basket. Well, that was not a good sequence from Wood. And Olsen was able to get the steal. And then Wood had to foul Olsen. Just when it seemed Pinar Karsiyaka were starting to get the grips with this game, Murcia come out, make a couple of plays. Rojas, little jump hook, but that was poor from Murcia, certainly. Now Kennedy, he's got the bit between the teeth. Pump fake, takes the contact, and earns a trip to the free throw line. Well, that was smart basketball there. He got D'Elia sort of out of position. You see Wood returning to the bench, and Brian Allen comes back in. And all Kennedy wants to do is see that ball fall through the hoop, and he's going to start getting into his rhythm. There it is. He's one of the top players in this competition. Make no mistake about it. Well, he only sees it happen once, in fact. So 1 of 2 effort. Under 6 minutes to go now in the first half. And see Karsiyaka 2 of 4 at the line. Murcia 4 of 6. And there's Lima once again, and he follows up his miss and puts it in. Boy, he's just flat out carrying Murcia right now offensively. He's already at plus 16 efficiency. Allen picks it up in the backcourt. Lima with 13 points, 5 rebounds. Good hands from Sadiel Rojas. Jones has to put up a prayer, and now it triggers a break for Lima for the two-handed dunk. And look at Lima. He says, hop on my back, boys. Let's get it. And that was one of those strange situations where Jones, with the shot clock winding down, had to take a shot, but he might have been better off just holding on to it because it triggered a break. And again, Pinar Karsiyaka have to call the timeout. In fact, now Lima has 17 points. So 17 points, 5 rebounds for Augusto Lima. See the numbers for Murcia at the bottom inside the arc. That's the key. 14 to 23. And what's interesting about that are the individual numbers of Augusto Lima. He's 8 of 9 from the floor. And he's also perfect 1 of 1 at the line. There you see the rebounding totals. And that is worrying right there, 13 to 6. I mean, they are just dominating. And Lima saving his best game for a very important time of the season for UCAM Murcia, but he was, remember, already last week, or excuse me, in the last tie a couple weeks ago in that second leg at Iberostar Tenerife, Augusto Lima had 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 block shots. He's already made a big impact for UCAM Murcia in money time. And that time Lima stepped in too late. And good job from Kennedy to get the foul. Now you remember that earlier foul that Lima picked up where he kind of reached around and fouled his man out on the perimeter, Jones. So now he's got 2 fouls. D'Elia comes out, and Iban Navarro does not want to take Augusto Lima out of the game, certainly not while he's dominating the way that he is. And this is a good sign, though, for Pinar Karsiyaka that Kennedy is trying to find his way into the game, but again, he misses a free throw. Well, he's been one of the guys to carry him all season, so he's got to get it going. He knows it. Trifunovic knows it. The Pinar Karsiyaka fans know it. And UCAM Murcia certainly know it. Now Olison has it, hands it off back to Cleveland Hanna, who's back in the game. Sadiel Rojas to Lima for the 2. Oh, nope, he decided to lay it up and in. 19 points for Lima. I'll tell you what, if he grabs a few more rebounds, we might be talking about a first half double-double. Look at this. Good defense from Sadiel Rojas. 13 seconds on the shot clock. It's a 13-point UCAM Murcia lead. Long way to go, folks, in this one. But UCAM Murcia have to like their position. Allen, jump shot. 3-point land is good. Just like that, it's back to 10. Pass to Lima. Jared Jones pushing Lima away. And Hanna strikes from downtown. He gets it right back for UCAM Murcia. 9 points for him. A perfect 3 of 3 from deep. Waters trying to set something up. Kennedy goes inside and scores. I don't think Pinar Karsiyaka have an answer for him. I think he's got that move all day long. Now, Cleveland Hanna. Steps back, and he was going to hand it off to Soko, but I don't think Soko was ready to receive it, and Hannah had to hold on to it. Olsen goes out of the game. Olsen hasn't done anything yet, surprisingly. And good defense from Ogurlu. Vitor Benite back in the game. Kennedy for three. Short. Benite hustles, corrals the rebound. Now Hannah. The dump to Soko, and Soko puts it up off the glass and in. Ten points for Soko as well. Allen. And Allen gets it to Ogurlu, tries to, but Hannah reaches in, prevents the pass from being completed. And shot no good. Ball goes out of bounds. Back over to Murcia. Turn back into the game. Well, UCAM Murcia doing a good job of spoiling the party right now. They have come out. They've opened up a 13-point lead, and they are trying to extend that. Benite for three. Good! Goodness gracious me. UCAM Murcia up 16. And then Ogurlu takes advantage of the miscommunication in that Murcia defense. Now Soko turns it over. Turin for three. And Soko is the fortunate man there. That was a bad turnover. But it's been that kind of night for Murcia. Opportunity to hit the three, and they missed. Hannah. Sadiel Rojas. And the follow from D'Elia. Nobody boxed out the Argentinian. Jones turns, gets swatted by D'Elia, and then Hannah saved it before it went out of bounds to Vitor Benite. Now D'Elia looks like he's going to go to work. Turns, hands it off unselfishly to Soko, who draws the foul. And UCAM Murcia right now are just totally dominating. 48-30. Soko going to the line. Here it is again. And Pinar Karsiyaka in the midst of a horror show right now. And this crowd has been stunned into silence. And that is not something that happens very often here in Izmir. Even Hannah goes out of the game and Clough back in. And here's Soko. And this time makes the free throw. So it's a 19-point advantage. And Pinar Karsiyaka can't get to halftime fast enough. Remember, though, this is effectively the first half of an 80-minute game. The first half being played here in Izmir, Turkey. The second half will be played next week in Spain, in Murcia. And traveling the call on Kennedy. And boy, when it rains, it pours. And Pinar Karsiyaka go to the bench completely out of sorts. This is Murcia right now in command, perhaps building an unassailable advantage. 19 points for Lima. Impressive stuff. Soko, not too bad himself. There's 13 points. Jones just with 7, Kennedy 6, and Allen with 6. For Karsiyaka. Well, the star of the show last week was, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago was Olesen. He hasn't scored, but he hasn't even taken a shot. The man that's been doing the damage has been Lima and his cohort, Ovi Soko. Lima with 19 points, 5 rebounds. Soko with the 13 points. Now the pass into the corner, Vitor Benite. Banic with the rebound. And Allen gets it off in time. Oh, that would have helped. They are desperate for something good to happen. It was a good look for Allen from just beyond midcourt. He just crossed half court. But anyway, UCAM Murcia lead it 49-30 after one half here in Izmir. Well, the numbers don't lie, folks. 16 of 22 from Murcia. You have to wonder where the Karsiyaka defense is, and Karsiyaka themselves, 9 of 16, but Murcia content to play this game. They're out rebounding Karsiyaka 18-7. They're out assisting them 15-7, and they're out Augusto Lima-ing them. Lima, the star of the show, and right now, it is one-way traffic in favor of UCAM Murcia. Look at that, 19 points, 5 rebounds for Augusto Lima. When he's not scoring, Ovi Soko is pouring in the points with 13. Olesen and D'Elia there with the defensive stats in favor of Murcia. And there you have Soko with the 13. Cleveland Hanna has the 3 3-pointers. But I would fully expect a reaction from Pinar Karsiyaka coming out here in the second half. Surely the deficit won't grow, it'll get smaller. So we're at halftime. It's UCAM Murcia on top, 49-30. We'll be right back.
Coach, you're now 19 points ahead of Karsiyaka after the first half. Were you expecting this?
Well, we knew that the game was going to be very tough, and it's still very tough, so it's not over. This is like just the first quarter of a playoff, and we know that they have great quality and they're able to get back, so we have to be ready.
So what are your plans for the second half?
Well, try to keep on controlling the defensive rebound, control the turnovers, and try to keep, I know that's going to be difficult, but try to keep our goals in 2-point shots, because we are over 70%, so this is our idea.
Thank you. Coach, the game actually started balanced, but you had difficult times finding some points. What was the reason for that?
Except the first couple of minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes in the beginning, we didn't look like a team that we are, What is the reason? Now it's hard to explain, and it's not the moment to explain. We need to raise our level of energy through the defense and try to find some easy points. Actually, we didn't score an easy point in the first half. Try to deny something better. We had some problems on a pick and roll. Shots of Lima, on a pick and pop shots of Lima, and to box out, First, we have to turn our heads in a defense step by step and to try to understand that this is a game of 80 minutes, 60 additional minutes from now, and we have to believe and trust in that in order to come back on the way we can.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, we are at halftime. It's UCAM Murcia leading it 49-30 over Pinar Karsiyaka. And if you happen to hear the comments from both Alexander Trifunovic and Iban Navarro, the coaches of Pinar Karsiyaka and UCAM Murcia, respectively, you know that we're only a quarter of the way done in this tie. A lot of basketball still to be played. Clearly, you'd rather be in Navarro's shoes with his team on top. Trifunovic knows the second half performance. His team clearly not only needs to win the second half, but they need to win it convincingly to give themselves a decent chance of getting back on level terms and even going ahead and winning this tie. But they haven't had an answer for Augusto Lima. When he missed the shot, he even tipped in his own miss. He scored there on the break, but as the coach alluded to, it was his pick and popping and pick and pop jump shooting that was really wreaking havoc for UCAM Murcia. Just hit jump shot after jump shot. It was impressive stuff. Here he was laying one up and in. So we're at halftime, folks. It's UCAM Murcia leading it 49-30 at Pinar Karsiyaka. And is it going to be more of the same, or are we going to see a reaction from Pinar Karsiyaka? Certainly, I would expect the reaction. But UCAM Murcia know they've given themselves a platform to build on now, or a launch pad to get to that Final Four. They are up 19 points. I mean, if you're up 19 points, even if only one half of basketball has been played, but because it's on the road, you know, you have put yourself into an excellent position to go out and do something special and to get to that Final Four. Remember, they're trying to follow the lead of Iberostar Tenerife, who not only got to the Final Four last season, but hosted it and won it. UCAM Murcia would like nothing more than to win that title this season, in this second season of the Basketball Champions League. Of course, a lot of other teams capable of going all the way, including this Pinar Karsiyaka team, who, if they can just get their act together, get some stops and start making some shots and get, you know, take advantage of this incredible crowd here in Izmir that was really loud for about 18 minutes, 18 and a half minutes of that first half. You know, maybe we can see a turnaround. But also MHP Riesen Leeuwardsburg on top in their quarterfinal against Midi Beirut, 52-41. Banvit will be in action tomorrow night against Monaco. AS Monaco, though Banvit will be at home. And Ike Athens will host SIG Strasbourg in the first leg of their quarterfinal. So all of these teams have done an excellent job. Perhaps some teams have had to overcome a lot more adversity than others. I'm thinking of the likes of Ike Athens, who needed a buzzer beater just to get to the playoffs, and then they needed another shot late to get past Ches Nimberg to get to the quarterfinals. Of course, Strasbourg, they had to really pull out all stops to win their tie in the last round, in the round of 16. Against Neptunus Klaipėda. So it's just been a wonderful, wonderful second season of the Basketball Champions League once again. And it's been our pleasure to bring you all the action, and it continues to be our pleasure to bring it to you. Just so many twists and turns and unexpected events, and I don't think anybody in their right mind would have predicted Pinar Karsiyaka trailing by 19 points after the first half. And if they don't cut into this deficit in the second half and leave, say, with a narrow defeat, or at least a much more manageable defeat, I would be shocked. I expect them to come out and really get into this UCAM Murcia team in this second half. So a lot of basketball to be played, and for that to happen, they're going to have to get to grips with Augusto Lima, something they did not do in the first half. And when you talk about Augusto Lima, you're talking about a player who, again, is big time. I mean, he was very good when he played for, he had some great moments for Brazil when he played at the Olympics back in 2016. And, you know, anybody that can shine on that stage can, you know, certainly is worthy of being called a great player, and he's showing it all tonight. Augusto Lima in his full glory. And I was going to run down, I mean, he's already hit a season high in the Basketball Champions League. 26 years of age, Augusto Lima, 2.06 meters in height, 6 feet 9 inches if you prefer those measurements. And now, Augusto Lima, what he's done on the season, his previous high was 14 points against Bonn. And he also had 11 against Ostend earlier in the season. And he had, obviously, the 10 points in the second leg against Tenerife. But in the first leg against Iberostar Tenerife, he had 3 points. So if you expected this to happen tonight, I don't believe you. I mean, I find that hard to believe. He's just been utterly brilliant tonight, especially with his jump shooting. Now, what can happen for UCAM Murcia if Pinar Karsiyaka commit too many bodies to stopping him and they lose sight of the fact that Murcia also have Cleveland Hanna, who's a perfect 3 of 3 from deep tonight. They've also got Brad Olesen, who can obviously hit a lot of jump shots. He had 6 3-pointers in that second leg last week. You know, they've got other players, Erdeson as well. They've got other players that can come out and hurt them. So it's, you know, you're going to have to see some intensity, some real defensive effort from this Pinar Karsiyaka team in the second half for them to come out and give themselves a chance to winning this tie and advancing to the Final Four. Now, earlier in the season, Dominic Waters was such an influential player, but coming off the bench tonight didn't look anything close to the same player. So I really don't know fully what's going on with Pinar Karsiyaka right now. You know, you've got Jared Jones, you've got Kennedy, they've got Brian Allen. They're trying to get him going in his first game in the Basketball Champions League this season for them. But what about, you know, the other guys? I mean, who else is going to step up? And, you know, so you know that Jones, Kennedy, definitely going to get their looks, as well as Allen. Will Waters have a chance to be influential? And who else can step up for them? Wood. I mean, Wood also, you know, coming into the game late with his team already trailing. You know, he's a candidate to come out and hit some threes, certainly. 19-point leads have disappeared quickly before, but I would suggest that it's not going to happen here tonight. It's not going to happen quickly. It might disappear, but it's not going to happen just like that. So 20 minutes remaining in this first leg, and UCAM Murcia just looking to press on their advantage, whereas Pinar Karsiyaka looking to give themselves a chance to win this tie, move on into the Final Four. I'm not sure what the delay is here for the start of the second half. A couple of the South Americans, Lima and Delia, over there talking to Boris Krajic, referee. One thing that we do know is we're not going to have overtime tonight, because you don't have the overtime in that first leg. So I see what we have now. We have a scoreboard issue. So hopefully this delay will be resolved sooner rather than later. Well, you go back, turn the clock all the way back to October 11th. That's when UCAM Murcia got their season off and running. They scraped a narrow win, 78-76 over UNED Holon. NSC Krasnoyarsk then hosted UCAM Murcia and lost that one. But UCAM Murcia suffered a home defeat to Dinamo Sassari on October 25th. And then they crashed to a heavy defeat at EV Baskets Oldenburg. That was on November 1st. So they started the season 2-2, and then they ran into a buzzsaw at home against the Pinar Karsiyaka team that's unrecognizable from the team that we've watched tonight. And see the scoreboard issue, trying to restart it, get things going here. So again, folks, apologies. UCAM Murcia then lost their 6th game at home to AS Monaco. So they actually started the season 2-4, and at that point you had to wonder, was this going to be the year that UCAM Murcia would actually get out of the regular season? But they turned it around. They traveled to Lithuania and won at Juventus Utena, and they won at Unat Holon to improve to 4-4, and they won at home over NSC Krasnoyarsk to go to 5-4. And then they avenged their defeat to Dinamo Sassari, winning that one January 10th to go to 6-4. Then they beat EV Baskets Oldenburg in Spain 85-65. That was a tempestuous affair before having that nice spell snapped, that winning streak snapped at Pinar Karsiyaka. So they've kind of had an interesting season, to put it mildly. They also lost right after that again to AS Monaco, and then they lost at home to Juventus Utena. But they did manage to, after get to the playoffs, they did manage to overcome a 5-point first leg deficit at home to Iberostar Tenerife by getting the famous 83-72 win at Iberostar Tenerife last week. Again, folks, the second half, a delayed start as the scoreboard has malfunctioned, and they're just trying to get things going. And maybe, if anything, this will change the complexion of the game for Pinar Karsiyaka. They need something to happen. Of course, this is not what anybody wants. Meanwhile, in the other quarterfinal being played tonight, good game underway with Midi Beirut coming from behind now and winning at MHP Rees in Lewisburg 56-55. That's an all-German affair. That's with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter at last check. So it's all happening there. And right now, Ibon Navarro wanting to make sure that he understands progress is being made. He wants to be updated on what's happening with this, because he realizes half the battle is concentration, and he doesn't want his players' concentration to wane here. They've gotten on top of this Pinar Karsiyaka team, and they want to keep the momentum going. But the longer of this delay, perhaps he might be fearing that they would lose their rhythm, and that might contribute to a Pinar Karsiyaka comeback. So again, folks, apologies, waiting for the scoreboard to be fixed. So the referee's talking to both coaches, and I don't know what you say, really. I mean, the scoreboard, they're working on it. I don't know if they're coming up with a contingency plan. But obviously, it's a difficult situation for everybody involved. Sometimes you have issues like this that will arise. Occasionally the old proverbial backboard will come crashing down after a slam dunk. That could lead to a delay, but you can see that Iban Navarro is not happy, presumably about this lengthy delay, that this thing cannot be resolved, or has not been resolved yet. That's what Dominic Waters and Brad Olafson are talking about. And clearly the message from Iban Navarro is we've got to maintain our concentration here and not let this get us out of our rhythm. This almost a quarter would have already been played. That's how long this delay has been. So unfortunately, let's hope that this thing is resolved soon. What you want to see is the players kind of hustle over to the bench, because then that'll be an indicator that the thing is being close to resolved. But so far, that is not the situation. So the unfortunate delay led by the scoreboard malfunction or something dealing with the power in UCAM Murcia. Now, I think it's safe to say now that Olafson and Dominic Waters are having a friendly conversation. So Iban Navarro will not want his players to lose their edge. That's the main thing. And Trifunovic is like, I got all night. I live here. I've got nowhere else to go. Well, we talked about the season that UCAM Murcia had, how it was, they had their ups and downs. And when you look back at the season that Pinar Karsiyaka had, I suppose you're not surprised that they made it this far. You would have always put your money on this team making it all the way at least to the round of 16 and probably into the quarterfinals. They actually started with a loss. I remember they had to actually go through qualifying, but they were always favored to advance. They lost to Alba Fahavar, and then they won the second leg after losing the first leg by 2 points. And then they started the regular season of the Basketball Champions League with a 1-point win at Dinamo Sassari. But they did win, and then they followed that up with another win, 90-78 over Juventus Utena. They slipped up at EV Baskets Oldenburg. Then they beat Unet Holon, UCAM Murcia in Spain. They won big over NEC Krasnoyarsk. They lost to AS Monaco, and and then they actually slipped up at home to Dinamo Sassari, but then they won at Juventus Utena. They lost at EV Baskets Oldenburg, and they finished up with a 95-93 win at Unet Holon, 79-72 over UCAM Murcia here in Izmir. They won at NSC Krasnoyarsk, and they finished up and kind of showed their potential with an 84-77 win over AS Monaco, giving the Principality Club their first defeat of the season in the Basketball Champions League. Of course, they trailed big against PAOK Thessaloniki before losing the first leg by 6 points back on March 6th, and then they won the second leg by 12 points. So just a strange situation here in front of us, folks. The only thing I can tell you is that they're speaking English, but I can't quite hear what's being said. Meanwhile, in the other quarterfinal being played tonight, MHP Rees and Lewisburg now into the fourth quarter and leading 69-60 over Midi Beirut. So they are on top in that situation. And I'm sure Yvonne Navarro has been in more difficult circumstances than this. This is just a delay. Sometimes you can be upset by travel delays and whatnot. But when you're actually in the middle of what you do, coaching, this is a real test. And this is something that, again, neither coach wants. If you think it might favor one, well, I mean, you would initially think it could favor Pinar Karsiyaka because they're at home. But on the other hand, I'm sure that they were on the receiving end of some hard words by their coach. And they were probably fired up and ready to go. And now this delay, maybe they're in danger of being flat. So there's just no telling how these two teams are going to respond after this lengthy delay, which is now stretched. You know, we would have already been in the fourth quarter if we had not had this delay. Well, I guess there is an argument for maybe going to more of a manual scoreboard, kind of like a throwback, have a little vintage scorekeeping tonight if we can't get the normal scoreboard fixed. I think that would have to be a lengthy delay of 45 minutes or so, and I don't know what type of progress we're making tonight. Well, these fans do not appear to have to be anywhere tonight, so that's good. So the atmosphere is going to remain electric, we would expect, inside the Karsiyaka Spor Salonu, the Mustafa Kemal Atatürk Karsiyaka Spor Salonu. Well, both these teams, remember, this is how they're faring in European competition, but you've also got domestic campaigns that these teams are competing in, and both teams attempting to make the playoffs in their respective domestic leagues, and actually in similar circumstances or similar situations. Pinar Karsiyaka 11th, 8-14, 2 games out of the top 8. Lima and Banic are talking. And Nate Bay, the Liga Endesa rather, you've got Murcia, who are in 10th place at 12-12, and they too are 2 games behind Moorbank Andorra, as well as Unicaja Malaga for the playoff spot. So Bearstar Tenerife, to add insult for them, they are, having already been eliminated from the Basketball Champions League, they are in 9th place now at 13-11. So you could see the technicians over there trying to work on matters. I don't know if it's a case that somebody pulled the plug, or maybe there's a mouse in the house that somehow got into the scoreboard, started eating away at cables that it should not be chewing on, or if it's something power related. I just don't know. All I know is that the scoreboard isn't working, and this has caused the longest delay of the season in the Basketball Champions League. So again, apologies, but thanks for sticking with us. We're going to start things off. We're going to resume the action as soon as we can. Meanwhile, in the other quarterfinal now, MHP Rees and Lewisburg are on top 69-68 over Midi Beirut. And, well, you're wondering what Gabe York is doing. A lot of people might think that he would be the player of the year, the MVP. He's got 18 points. He's hit 4 of 7 from three-point range, so no surprise there. And that is par for the course. As for Thomas Walkup, another player that would be considered MVP candidate, he's doing it all tonight. He's got 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals for MHP Rees and Lewisburg. So that is right now a quarterfinal that's actually being played, and it's certainly a good one. And tomorrow night we're going to have Banvit hosting the first leg of their quarterfinal against AS Monaco Basket, and then it'll be Ike Athens hosting SIG Strasbourg in their first one. Well, saw somebody over there with a, looked like he could have been in Men in Black, pulling up the cords, pulling up some cables. Not sure what that indicates. Midi Beirut now leading at 71-69 at MHP Rees and Lewisburg, and you have to say Midi Beirut, one of the candidates for the surprise packages of the season. I mean, this is their dream season, without question. Their fans, boy, they have to be excited about what's happening with their basketball club, and to be right in the hunt for a spot in the Final Four. Now they're trailing 72-71. So we're at halftime. Remember, if you're just joining us, an incredible first half for Augusto Lima. 19 points and 5 rebounds. Oviesoko with 13 points, and Cleveland Hanna a perfect 3 of 3 from three-point range. That is the bulk of the scoring for UCAM Murcia, who lead it 49-30 at halftime over Pinar Karsiyaka. We are in Izmir, Turkey, and a scoreboard malfunction has led to a lengthy delay. And all we can say is apologies, but we know that Pinar Karsiyaka are working hard to try to sort out the problem and to get this first leg back up and running. Also, in terms of Pinar Karsiyaka, you've got Brian Allen, David Kennedy, each with 6 points, and Jared Jones with 7 points. But they need some magic. They need to conjure it up from somewhere, and hopefully we'll see whether or not they're going to be successful or not soon. But right now it looks like they're still working on the scoreboard. You can see Iban Navarro pacing over there in front of the UCAM Murcia bench, and referees doing their best to as well. I mean, you know, this impacts a lot of people. I mean, I'm not complaining, but you know, the referees have to stay limber, have to stay focused as well. I'm sure they will, and also everybody else involved in the whole organization. So 49-30 halftime, just the delay with the scoreboard. And meanwhile, the other quarterfinal, which started at the same time, has got a minute and 47 remaining. So this is not what the doctor ordered, but these things happen, and we just have to grin and bear it, folks. So we're at halftime again, folks. Sorry, the delayed start to the second half is 49-30 in favor of UCAM Murcia. I don't think anybody expected that, and I certainly don't think anybody expected to see a scoreboard malfunction, which leads to the lengthy delay here to the start of the second half. But such is life, and we'll just deal with it and move on. Remember, UCAM Murcia lost both of their games this season to Pinar Karsiyaka in the regular season. Not by big score lines, by several points each time. So they would have started as the underdogs tonight, and they have come out and just shocked the world, really. I mean, they've come out and opened up a 19-point lead. Incredible. And especially when you look at UCAM Murcia, they finished 7-7 in the regular season. I mean, they were the same as Dinamo Sassari at 7-7, who did not make it. But UCAM Murcia, by virtue of the superior goal differential by 1 point, beat Dinamo Sassari to that playoff point in their head-to-head into that playoff spot. So I think we have some movement here. Just had a buzzer that went off, and you could hear the crowd as well. Kind of like, are we finally going to get this thing underway? So they finished 7-7 in the regular season, UCAM Murcia. So they were fortunate to even get here to the playoffs. And you had Pinar Karsiyaka going 10-4. The only team to beat AS Monaco. And of course, they had to come from behind to win against PAOK Thessaloniki, which they did to advance to the quarterfinals. But they would have started as favorites. But, you know, you've got the regular season is one season. It's survive and advance. That's what UCAM Murcia did. They survived. They advanced. And here they are now in the quarterfinals. And UCAM Murcia with a 19-point lead, effectively 25% of the way into this tie. There's Augusto Lima. Augusto Lima seems to be spending quite a bit of time over there talking to the rest. So I'm not sure what he wants to nail down. But Lima is, I've got a lot of time for those Brazilian players. They're a friendly lot. They're not very friendly when they're playing. They'll get after you, but after the final buzzer, very approachable. And I think Lima wants to keep his edge. He says, "Hey, we need to get this thing going. I'm on my way to a record night tonight. I want to have a Jimmy Barron type night. Remember last season when Jimmy Barron was playing for Neptunus and exploded for more than 40 points, had all those three-pointers falling. That's kind of you get the feeling that's kind of how things were going for Lima tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. He might not even get to 30, though. He might not even get to 26. You never know. They're going to make some changes. Pinar Karsiyaka, they're going to try to neutralize Lima, trying to take him out of the attack. Somebody else might have to step up and beat him. But there are plenty of candidates to do that for this very talented UCAM Murcia team. So Midi Beirut, believe it or not, have gone ahead and won the opening leg, 86-81 at MHP Rees in Lewisburg. And York finished with a team-high 18 points. Thomas Walkup had a game-high 19 points. But it was Midi Beirut who made the plays late. And they have put themselves now into an excellent position. Going home, they're going to be excited next week when Midi Beirut return and play in front of their home crowd. They outscored MHP Rees in Lewisburg 29-19 in the fourth quarter. So well, there is signs of life up there on the scoreboard right now. Not sure what it is, and honestly don't know what the process is going to be here. Well, unfortunate. That's the only way you could put it. So have to deal with it. 19-point lead for UCAM Murcia at halftime, trying to get to the Final Four. Of course, they'll have to turn around and play next week. That'll be in Spain. Vitor Benite on the left of your screen, and Urtasun as well out there taking some jump shots, trying to stay loose. Got a lot of important people over there at the scoreboard trying to get things working, doing their best. But certainly the strangest situation, and it's going to be really interesting to see how both of these teams react once the game is played again. Folks, if you're just joining us, it's 49-30. We are unfortunately still at halftime. Scoreboard malfunction. And the good people here are working hard trying to remedy the situation. The fans doing a great job of sticking around. And obviously, difficult situation for everybody involved, but we appreciate your patience. And hopefully we'll have the game underway as soon as possible. 49-30. Augusto Lima with 19 first-half points for UCAM Murcia, who, remember, finished 7-7 in the regular season. And then they lost the first leg against Iberostar Tenerife in the round of 16, but came back to win that one. And now they've put themselves in great position in this tie with this excellent start on the road at Pinar Karsiyaka. But the scoreboard malfunction has led to a rather unfortunate lengthy delay. But again, everybody's working hard trying to get this thing fixed. Certainly adds a little bit to the drama, that's for sure. Unexpected twists and turn. But again, it's not one that anybody wants. So fingers crossed this thing will be resolved shortly. Once again, we're at halftime. And it's Murcia on top here by 19 points. So we'll be right back as soon as possible. So it appears we're going to have a score as big a screen as possible. That's going to be set up on the scores table, and we might be getting this second half underway here shortly. It's a 19-point lead. I don't think I mean, obviously the players aren't going to care. They're just going to go out and run their sets and try to execute as much as possible. So this is when the referees really earn their money tonight. They have to really deal with this type of situation. Look at Mazzoni. There's Augusto Lima again out there talking at midcourt. Not sure what he's talking about, but he could be lining up some dinner for tonight, making sure that they get back to the hotel in time to get something to eat, because he's certainly earned his steak dinner for tonight. Good Brazilian steak might be what he's thinking about, celebrating if they can get a win on the road. Pinar Karsiyaka. So clearly we're getting close to starting things off here. They're just going to have a layup drill real quick, and hopefully we'll be underway here from Izmir, Turkey. I'm guessing that come tomorrow, maybe even later tonight, they're going to be up there working on that scoreboard, trying to figure out, trying to get it functional again. This will be end up being just a short page in the long history of the Basketball Champions League one day. People will look back and say, remember the night that UCAM Murcia shocked everybody by taking a 19-point first half lead at at Pinar Karsiyaka. And then when it was time to start the second half, the scoreboard malfunctioned. It'll be something, well, I don't think it would fill up a chapter. I think it might fill up a couple of paragraphs. But certainly Basketball Champions League has had some great storylines in its almost 2 years of existence. It's been moving from strength to strength, and a lot of great games, a lot of thrills and spills, chills, a lot of young players emerging onto the scene. And Now we can hear the referees talking out there near mid-court. And just making sure that everybody's on the same page in terms of how they're going to stay on top of this. Okay, so the players coming back out, and we are about ready to rumble. So 49-30, UCAM Murcia on top of Pinar Karsiyaka, and about ready to get things going here. And now Mazzoni, the Italian referee, telling Kennedy that he's not able to play with the armband, because it's a and this is really the last thing that anybody needs. If it's not, if he's not in the rule, if he's not supposed to wear it, then he's not supposed to wear it. But if he's got permission, but let's just get on with the show. Goodness me. But I don't know why you would not be allowed to wear that. But clearly Kennedy is upset, and he's gonna try to take it out on UCAM Murcia, take out his frustration. So we are underway. Boy, that's exciting. I never thought I would say that again. Happiness has returned to Ishmir, and a very angry Kennedy, who had to take off his arm sling, whatever you want to call it, slip. And UCAM Murcia are going to try to ratchet up the intensity once again. Brian Allen gets in there. Kennedy with the offensive rebound, passes it out to Agurlu, and see the three-point shot is good from Jared Jones. So good start to the second half here for the home team. Sadil Rojas hands it off. Now Cleveland Hanna has it. Cleveland Hanna over to a wide open Rojas, who hits a three-pointer. So they answer the three with a three. 52-33 now, back up to a 19-point lead. Now Kennedy drives in, passes to the corner. Jared Jones, and this time no good, but Kennedy another offensive rebound over to Jones again. Good! Second three-pointer, and look at Iban Navarro. He knows right now the biggest battle he's facing is to get his team back to where they were. They almost turned it over, but Hanna drives inside, and the ball goes out of bounds back over to Pinar Karsiyaka. And the drive and the finish from Turan, the putback, and Iban Navarro calls for a timeout. He's going to lash into his players. Look at that. So they know, yeah, I think more than anything, Navarro is furious that twice Jones was left open out on the perimeter to hit three-pointers, but then to give away the offensive rebound. And he talked about that at halftime. They had to take care of the defensive glass.
Let's go.
So now it is 52-38, 14-point lead for UCAM Murcia. And having led by 19 at halftime. Lima, unstoppable in the first half, and then did the hard work, but then kind of flicked the ball up there instead of going up strong with it. He's going at Jones. He's got to watch the elbow, pushing off. And Lima with a little fadeaway. So he hasn't slowed down now. He's got 21 points. Ten of 12 from the floor. Inside now to Jared Jones. Turns, throws the ball into the hands of Ovisoko. Then Ovisoko fouled from behind by Brian Allen. Catches the inbounds pass. Now over to Olesen. Not sure how much time is on the shot clock, folks. Apology. And Olesen gets in the lane, scores. Took a knock on the hand, but shakes it off. And there's not a more welcome sight for UCAM Murcia than to see Olesen get on the scoreboard. Maybe he can start getting into his flow. Lead back to 18. Orulu drives in and banks it in. Cleveland Hanna over to Lima, and Lima starting to show signs of being human by missing some shots, and now Pinar Karsiyaka get the ball. Orulu over. Now Allen, and he throws it right into the hands of Sariel Rojas. And the Dominican Republic International gets it over to Cleveland Hanna. And the game's starting to pick up, getting a little bit chaotic. And then Olesen reaches in, forces the turnover off of Kennedy. And Kennedy doesn't want to lose the plot here. Look at this. I think the referee got it right, unfortunately for Kennedy. Just Olesen. Great job, I have to say, great job by Mazzoni. I mean, you know, some referees would have a go at Kennedy for that, but he's not going to get into it with the player. So 56-40. Pass to Ovisoko. And he's fouled by Metin Turan. Well, I'm not sure. Referee doesn't have any other option but to call foul on that play. I mean, come on. Olesen catches it and shoots and throws the ball up between the backboard and the rim now. Orgulu to Turan, and he is fouled by Olesen out on the perimeter. Trying to post him up. Now Kennedy. And he's bumped up high. Nope, they are going to call an offensive foul on, is it Jones? Watch Jones. Yep, it is. Clearly a moving screen. And Marko Banic is going to come into the game now for Jones. Minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Olesen bounce pass to Lima, and he is crunched by Orgulu. Orgulu goes down. Hopefully he's okay, holding his right elbow. No love lost between these two teams tonight. I mean, Orgulu there, if he'd gone straight up, maybe, but he's not going to allow Lima to attempt the shot, and he comes off the worse for wear. And I'd be awfully surprised if we don't see Dominic Waters come out. So he grimaces in pain and is going to go get checked out over there on the bench. And hopefully the young man's going to be okay. Meanwhile, Lima goes to the line to take care of business. But Orgulu's grimacing. So here he is, all 21 points up, and now he misses the first one. Brian Allen. And then a block and the foul called on Lima. And the first one is good. Second one is good. And it's back to a 15-point game. And the jump shot is no good off the front of the rim. And now Soko reaches in. Now Kennedy. And Brian Allen. The miss. The scrap for the ball. Three-pointer is good from Wood. Out on the wing, almost in the corner. And now it's a 12-point lead for UCAM Murcia. And Pinar Karsiyaka and their fans sensing the comeback. Olesen calmly sinks a jump shot at the free throw line. Turin, the shot or the ball knocked away and into the hands of Olesen. And now the turnover gets it back over to Pinar Karsiyaka. Now the bump. And off the fingertips. And now the collision. And now back to Wood, and the ball rims in and gets it back to an 11-point game. And the drive and the foul called on Pinar Karsiyaka. DJ Kennedy now to Turan, and Pinar Karsiyaka down 12. Turan misses. Soko and the traveling, and he gives it back to Pinar Karsiyaka. Three-pointer is good from Kennedy. Now it's a 9-point lead. Erdison for three. Oh boy, that was big. Brian Allen drifts inside, now back out. Kennedy drifts in the lane, passes it back. Kennedy gets it, runs into D'Elia, no call. Now Murcia. And Clough puts up the three, no good, but Soko with the rebound puts it up. D'Elia scraps. The ball goes out of bounds. It's Pinar Karsiyaka ball. So that is the end. Let's see, 63-61, the end of the third quarter.
In the offense, first offense.
And Pinar Karsiyaka have certainly given themselves a chance to make this a more manageable deficit and possibly even go on to win this opening leg.
Last seconds. Now I know that you don't know how many seconds we got left. But if we go under, okay, you have to be here. Either to flat or to switch. But we have to be here. Hey, guys, we are playing quite good defense, but we need to contest the last shots. Hey, this screen away on boot to shoot.
We need to be aggressive full court. We need to be aggressive until the ball is special. Okay?
The last seconds with Allen, okay? Don't stay here both in trap. So, I want one guy here and the other one inside. We have to control the rebound and the three-point shot attempts. Okay? Vale, vamos, chicos, venga.
Well, 10 more exciting minutes of basketball to be played. Here in this opening leg. And Murcia showing signs of, well, playing like they know how to play. Playing with the intensity. UCAM Murcia cooling off just a little bit. Anything can happen over this final 10 minutes. This is going to be exciting stuff. Turan reaching around, trying to slow down Soko, and Soko going right at him. Erdison. Clough for three, it's good. 15-point lead. Boy, that was a huge shot from Murcia at the start of the fourth quarter. Brian Allen drives in, and the traveling. Marko Banic goes over to the bench. Now Clough has it. Into D'Elia. Boy, a basket here from Monaco would really take the life, perhaps, out of Pinar Karsiyaka, but denied was D'Elia, and Jared Jones gets the rebound, gets it to Agurlu really quickly, and then Kennedy hustles down for the follow, but doesn't make it. And the drive is good, explosive, and the man in the fourth quarter is Clough, the Dutch international. That shot takes it back to a 17-point lead.
We are in the rhythm, give reaction. Make a foul, one more. Make a one more foul. No problem. Yeah.
We have one foul over. We have only one foul.
8 of 18 from deep, Pinar Karsiyaka, 7 of 16 from deep, UCAM Murcia. And you can see the numbers, not quite as impressive from Murcia in that third quarter, but still they've impressively answered that charge back by getting it back up to a 17-point lead.
Control Jones on the three-point shot. Rebound and pull down. Okay, we got 17. We want more. Okay, more. Vale, vamos.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Murcia.
All right, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Jones puts it up from long range and misses, and coming out of the timeout, not a play that Pinar Karsiyaka perhaps would have wanted. Now Wood reaches in, knocks it off Erdison. Erdison gets it back, goes behind his back, puts it up, and now Jared Jones with the rebound. Wood, he's a great shooter, he puts it up, and Clough comes in for the rebound. Of course, Wood used to play for Murcia for a few seasons, so he'd love to lead a comeback against his former team. Here's Sadiel Rojas. He misses. Rojas with the rebound, takes the bump from Turan, goes down. And then Turan reaches around and commits another foul. One of the interesting subplots we haven't really spoken about was the fact that Wood did spend a few seasons in Spain after leaving North Carolina State with Murcia. So Turan goes out of the game and is replaced by Banic.
14 seconds.
See that Soko comes out of the game and Lima re-enters the contest. Wood reaches in and commits the foul on Erdison. There's a clear foul. Look at this. His right hand. Yeah, got him in the face. Basketball player never thinks that he's committed a foul. Erdison. And now traveling is the call on the guard. And that turns it back over. Jared Jones flashes in, And Lima knocked it away. Looked like it was about to fall back in. Watch this. Jaron Jones throws it up, and Lima just makes sure that it wasn't going to fall by alertly jumping up and swatting it. Wood for three. Now the pass goes off Benite into the hands of Agrulu. Back to Kennedy. Now Clough. And now the ball goes out of bounds. And the trip. Agrulu pulls up for three and rattles out, but the ball falls to Kennedy. Listen to Navarro calling the defense over on the sidelines. Now Banic hits the mid-range jump shot. Traveling again, the same spot on the floor where Erdison was called for a travel, this time on Benite. Oh yeah, it looked like he shuffled his feet just as he called it. This is the scoreboard. Remember, we had the scoreboard malfunction, which prevented the start of the second half. Led to a lengthy delay. Now Kennedy, Wood, and the ball ends up in the hands of Lima. Olesen for three, short. Now the long bounce pass up to Kennedy. Kennedy saved it, but then threw it into the hands of Clough. And just that type of night for Karsiyaka. And Agrulu reaches in and fouls Clough. Lima and bumped, and then he's called for the foul because he kind of hooked his man, Jones, as he was guarding him. And the turnover into the hands of Lima. Clough drives in, misses. Now Agrulu. And then kind of a late call. And Agrulu, poor guy, having left the game with an apparent elbow injury, comes back in, and now looks like he's rolled his ankle. And it doesn't look good. He is shouting out in pain. And it's just been such a strange old night. And now Rojas and Brian Allen exchanging words, and Kennedy and some fans as well, unfortunately, getting involved in throwing things on the court. And Rojas just needs to back away. And well, the police are coming out. And unfortunately, folks, it's been a disappointing night here in many respects. I just think people are perhaps tired and frustrated, and Karsiyaka's losing. So hopefully calm will be restored. So it looks like offsetting technicals. No, they're just telling the players to go to the benches. So a difficult night continues for the refs and for everybody else with 3:51 remaining. Ogurlu went down with the injury. And then some players, perhaps, especially Rojas, started jawing at each other. And the crowd took exception to Rojas for him being visited. And there's Ogurlu, clearly injured, having to be helped off the court. It didn't look like an obvious roll of the ankle, but clearly he's injured it because on the break, as he went down, as he tried to cut in, it wasn't on that play, but it was on the fast break. Scott Wood hit that step back three, and that's when things started looking pretty rosy, as well as Kennedy hitting the three. But then Erdison, that was a huge three-pointer. Kind of stemmed the flow, and then Clough came out the start of the fourth and hit that three-pointer. Then he scored on that drive. Banic came into the game, hit a mid-range jumper. But the main worry that obviously we all have is for Ogurlu, hoping that he's going to be okay, because he was clearly in a lot of pain. He was shouting out. Had to be helped off the court eventually, so presumably he's now back in the changing room being looked at. Great, fine young man. Part of the Turkish national team setup, obviously player that Pinar Karsiyaka rely on heavily, and has had to go out of the game, limped out of the game. It didn't look good. So we'll, fingers crossed, he'll get better, but obviously security getting involved now with some unruly fans throwing some missiles onto the court. But believe it or not, this game started at 7 o'clock. Excuse me, started at 8 o'clock Central European time. No, it's 10:30 Central European time, so it has been a long, long game. So this is the first leg of the quarterfinal between Pinar Karsiyaka and UCAM Murcia. Remember, Pinar Karsiyaka won 2 times in the regular season. Now, I think security has gone out there, and it could be that they were taking photographs of the area where some missiles were being thrown to make sure they could get the perpetrators. See if they can identify them and make sure they don't cause any more problems. But anyway, UCAM Murcia lost twice to Pinar Karsiyaka during the regular season. And lo and behold, they came out here and opened up a 19-point lead at halftime with Augusto Lima playing the part of Superman. I mean, he was just hitting jump shot after jump shot, scoring 19 points. And right now, Augusto Lima has 23 points. So he hasn't been the one that caused the problems in the second half. It's been a little bit of everybody. Cliff has come out in the fourth quarter especially, scored all 5 of his points. And we've had Brad Olesen come out and score 4 points in the second half. Ovi Soko, he had 13 at halftime. He's got 14 now. Erdison came out and hit that big 3-pointer. So not sure what the delay is now. Apologies. I know it was 3:51 remaining, 68:53. I don't know if they're trying to sort out if some if some technicals are going to be meted out against both of these teams with the unruly scenes which happened. Well, it's becoming. I think all you can do in these situations, folks, is have a sense of humor. Some days just don't go according to plan. I think that's probably the safest way to describe this game tonight. For some reason, it just seems like anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and now it's delay related to disciplinary issues, it appears. So I mean, the main thing is, remember, Bert Gurlu's been injured. He was helped off the court. Murcia are leading 68-53 this first leg with 3:51 remaining in this game. In this first leg, if Pinar Karsiyaka can somehow come back and get this thing closer, give themselves a fighting chance to win the tie. But then again, you know, Murcia could end up lowering the boom here and blowing this thing out. But without being there right at the scores table, I can't honestly tell you specifically what the punishment is going to be or what measures are being discussed here. But hopefully we'll find out soon. Well, it looks like Ovi Soko is exiting the court. Is it Ovi Soko? Oh, yeah, so, okay. So it is disciplinary issue. So Sadio Rojas was upset about something. There you see the Pinar Karsiyaka fans giving it to Rojas. And then, and then there was one fan who appeared to shove Rojas. Oh, Rojas looks like he's been given an early shower. Well, they've definitely got enough quality to finish the game. But goodness me, I mean, this is a The foul was called on Olesen on Berk Ogurlu. Ogurlu got injured and had to leave the game. Now Sadio Rojas subsequently was the official scoring saying an unsportsmanlike foul, but as opposed to a technical. So anyway, so 2 free throws have been awarded, and Wood makes both against his former team. So that gets it back to a 13-point game. And now the host, Pinar Karsiyaka, will maintain possession. And also, it looks like it was Cleveland Hanna, not Ovi Soko, that was disqualified. So he's left the court for something that happened in the melee. Not the melee, but in the disagreement. And now an offensive foul has been called on Jared Jones. Or was it Gulaslan? Anyway. So we have a 13-point lead in UCAM Murcia with possession. It was Clough that was fouled on that last play. Now D'Elia gets it. He gets rejected by Jones. Brian Allen to Wood, who pulls up for 3. Game on, 68-58. And it was Wood at the other end who was called for the foul on the Rojas. But anyway, it's a 10-point game now. And this is where you feel right now this thing is turning. This Pinar Karsiyaka team has a chance here to get even closer. I mean, this is, somebody's going to have to make some plays here for Murcia. So Cliff has the ball in his hands. He puts up a three off the back of the iron. And then Lima reaches in, knocks it out to Erdeson. New 14 on the shot clock. Cliff spins, dumps it to Lima, who misses. They get it back, and D'Elia goes up and misses the layup. Kennedy has it as he gets to midcourt. Banich sets a little screen. Now Banich catches it, goes to work on Olsen, but misses the shot. And Lima comes down with it. Boy, that was a golden opportunity for Karsiyaka to get it into single digits. Olsen drifts into the lane and scores with a short little jump hook. And that was far too easy for Murcia. Pinar Karsiyaka, that's a 4-point swing. They could have gone down and gotten the deficit to 8, but now they're trailing by 12. Boy, what a crazy game. So, again, as you look at Karsiyaka with 13 points from Jones, and Trifumovic is calling out the plays. Just to go back to that episode when Bert Grulu got injured on the drive.
So, if we misunderstood any switch here with Banich, spend the foul. Vamos, Marquitos, acábala, ¿de acuerdo?
The foul was called on Brad Olsen. Grulu went down, but then immediately after, Sadio Rojas got into it with someone. He was also pushed by a fan, it appeared. Anyway, he was whistled for an unsportsmanlike foul. 2 free throws were called. So the referees were looking at the replay to try to figure out, they were over at the scoreboard trying to resolve matters. Scott Wood went to the free throw line, made 2 free throws. But Cleveland Hanna was also disqualified with a disqualifying foul. And as was Ovi Soko. So Ovi Soko also was disqualified. So UCAM Murcia have lost 2 players to disqualifying fouls, and Sadio Rojas also was removed from the game after his unsportsmanlike foul. Jared Jones gets it inside and scores, gets it back to 10 points. And now the reach and the steal from Kennedy. And Kennedy goes in and lays it up and in. And he comes up limping a little bit. I hope that's only a cramp. And that was a horrible pass by Erdeson. Just triggered the break. Just threw it right into the hands of Kennedy. And it's an 8-point lead for Murcia.
Atacas y sé agresivo, te he dicho, sé agresivo. Si pasamos este balón no somos agresivos. Agresivo, dentro, acabar, fuerte, una bomba. Te hacen falta. Pero estos pases no ser agresivos.
So he's telling his teams they've got to remain aggressive.
Alex, sacas tú.
Attack,
Gus,
but don't get lackadaisical.
Marcos.
And that's what Erdeson did.
Charlón, Brad. Okay? This screen here.
But
¿vale?
it's a
Gus,
tough situation for the coach because, I mean, he's lost 3 players.
This screen, Charlón to the middle. Okay? Easy pass, Alex. Gus, tienes Brad, tienes aquí safety pass, ¿vale? Ball on top, and we play pick and roll to be aggressive. Hey, don't fake the pick and roll. Now set the screen. ¿Vale? No offensive foul. Vamos, chicos.
You know, when you have incidents that happen like this, you're not supposed to. Also, you want to it's difficult to do sometimes where the players can't leave the bench area. And I'm sure that looking back to that incident with about 3:51 remaining, that's probably what's hurt Murcia as well, that, you know, players got up off the bench and subsequently were punished. But anyway, it's an 8-point lead, and Pinar Karsiyaka, having been in dire straits, are now looking considerably better. Remember, they were trailing big as well against PAOK, but managed to cut that deficit back to 6 points in the first leg, and then they were able to win the second leg, but they won the second leg of that tie at home. This time, they will have to go to Murcia and play the second leg. But of course, Pinar Karsiyaka did win 2 games against UCAM Murcia in the regular season. You saw Jared Jones with a clear tug on D'Elia, and they've called an unsportsmanlike foul. So he's missed the first one. So Jones you're not going to get away with that one right in front of the referee. D'Elia makes the second. Clough. And the pass inside, and Lima scores. And now another timeout by Pinar Karsiyaka. Karsiyaka with the timeout. 42 seconds remaining, and talked about this at the start of the game. Every possession, every second counts. Pinar Karsiyaka going to try to get everything they can out of this game, as they should. There you see the shooting numbers for both teams. 9 of 23 for Pinar Karsiyaka from deep.
We pressure and we trap. We try to trap. We try to trap. Foul this D'Elia or Slough on a free throw line. Send them on a free throw line. Let's go.
Contact, okay, here, and if we make any mistake from the opposite side, to force them to play extra pass. Vale? Concentration, guys, and let's go. ¿Qué queda? Let's go, 1, 2, 3.
Pass over to Wood. It was short. Boy, they would have settled for that shot a million times. And Wood doesn't usually miss that bad. Now Olesen, the defense, forces the turnover. Kennedy has it. Final seconds. Here you go in the drive and the foul. Good drive from Jared Jones. He will go to the line for 2 free throws. Well, that was a great play by Jones, and it was I think a great play by Clough and Lima. You'd rather put them on the line and make him earn it, but Lima, meanwhile, is fouled out. So you've already lost several other players. So now, really, Murcia are going small, but there's only 25 seconds remaining in the game. Now, will they be able to hold it for one shot? That's the question. So it's a 10-point game, 73-63. And this last 25 seconds are crucial. Clough. And I think UCAM Murcia are fortunate. I think they might look at the replay here. They can review this in the final 2 minutes. And excellent refereeing. Mazzoni says immediately, I'm going to go and check. And I'm not sure if it was because of the reaction of Wood, or he's like, let's go and look at it. We've got this capacity to be able to review who the ball goes out of bounds off of in the final 2 minutes. He's going to give it. Oh, he does indeed. Watch this. Oh, yeah. If anything, Wood fouled Clough. It looked like to me. Got him on the wrist. So anyway, we go over to the bench.
Marcos,
Sí.
¿estás aquí?
Sacamos de acá.
Sacamos de acá. ¿Vale? Y sacas... Alex, sacas tú. Brad, aquí. Alex, aquí. Venite aquí. ¿Vale? Marcos, bloqueas Brad. Vienes alto. ¿Vale? Esquina, Víctor. ¿Vale? Y Alex, vienes aquí al centro. Perdón, Charlón. Charlón. Here to the middle. Okay? Right away. Ball. Alex.
After the free throw. We go watch. We go watch.
Well, the game is started 3 hours ago, and we are now in the final 23 seconds. In an ideal world for UCAM Murcia, who have lost Lehman out of 5 fouls. Boy, he was sensational in the first half. 19 points. In an ideal world for them, they'll be able to hold on for the last shot. Erdison is able to get it to Clough. And interesting, Karsiyaka commit the foul. And there was a hand check there. But you also got to play the ball. You don't want to give away an unsportsmanlike, but he hasn't. So they've decided they want to put Clough on the line and then have the last possession themselves. And the strategy could end up paying off if they go down now and get the last basket and cut into that deficit. Carlin Clough makes 1 of 2. But you never know. They can get a turnover. And nope, they're going to score. Good play by Allen. And Vitor Benite. They've got to hurry. And then Wood reaches in. And, you know, if Wood doesn't commit this foul, you wonder if they're going to be able to get it across midcourt. It's a 9-point lead. I think it would have been close. Erdison may not have been able to get that ball across midcourt. Wood may have bailed him out with the foul, but Erdison now makes the first one. And the question will be if Pinar Karsiyaka get it back, will they rush down the floor like they just did? There's 13 seconds left. No, he makes both. Will they rush down the floor and just get the quick shot, or will they hold it for one? Jared Jones, he's going to go in, and he's going to miss it. Would have been better off holding it, perhaps. Are they going to get one last shot? Erdison, that's not going to count. Or is it? Well, we don't know because we don't have the shot clock, so we'll have to look and see. This just adds a little bit more, one final kick in the teeth, shall we say. Trying to figure out if that does count. Yes, it looks like it will count. So 79-65. Looks like Pinar Karsiyaka made a big mistake there at the end by rushing that shot. They would have been better off holding on to it. UCAM Murcia win it by 14 points. And they will go back and try to take care of business next time. And it's good to see the players shaking hands at the end. It was, I think more than anything, it was circumstances that kind of led to what happened. Here's the last play. Erdison, perhaps a fitting climax. to a tempestuous encounter. A little bit of chaos. Erderson hitting the three. So UCAM Murcia, now they are actually, I think, going to review and see if he got off in time. But it looks like it was good and a 14-point win. So they did count the basket, and we'll just leave it at that. So Erderson hits the three. And disappointing night for Pinar Karsiyaka, but maybe some of their fans will travel to the south of Spain and get there, be a part of something special with a Karsiyaka comeback. You never know. So those are the final shooting numbers for both teams. In the end, it was the Murcia first half, and especially that inside the arc that really carried them. They out-rebounded Pinar Karsiyaka by 10 on the night. And don't forget, Pinar Karsiyaka lost Rugurlu to that injury, and we're hoping that he's going to be okay. Jones had the 16.6 rebounds. Lima the 24.7 rebounds. So those were the final numbers, and I'm expecting that we'll see some highlights here right at the end. So here in Izmir, Turkey, the security personnel is on the floor, and let's hope it's over. I think it is. So 79-65 is the win for UCAM Murcia in this quarterfinal. I mean, you have to say they've got 1 foot in the Final Four. I mean, this is an impressive road win for them. And they will, I think they'll be happy that they were up 19 at halftime. They get away with a 14-point win. And stranger things have happened. I mean, teams have come back from big deficits before in the second leg. So Pinar Karsiyaka still have all to play for. And there will be some interesting, that's going to be an interesting game to watch next week, I've got a feeling. That will be a raucous affair. And I'm guessing that UCAM Murcia faithful, the fans, will be coming out and really getting behind their team as they try to get to the Final Four. But boy, what would happen if Pinar Karsiyaka were to pull off a comeback and win by 15? That would be something special. I remember Valencia Basket once coming from a huge deficit down in the second leg to beat Mons of Belgium to get into the European regular season, and then ended up winning the title. So big comebacks are not out of the realm of possibility. So I am just going to sign off here, folks. 79-65. UCAM Murcia win it. Augusto Lima with 19 first-half points, leading the way. We had a lengthy, here's some highlights. Had a lengthy delay at the start of the second half with the scoreboard malfunction. It was finally, after the other quarterfinal finish with Mehdi Beirut winning at MHP Reason Lewisburg, this second half started, and they got it back to within, I believe, 10 points. They may have got it back to 8, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 points. But Murcia ended up winning it by 14 and they will be the favorites to advance to the Final Four. But remember, this game, the second leg will be played next week, and Pinar Karsiyaka will go back to the drawing board, and hopefully for their fans, they will come up with something special when they travel to the south of Spain. That was a big three there from Erdison that kind of stopped the bleeding. And remember, Kloof came out and hit that three and then scored on the drive to kind of stop the momentum of Pinar Karsiyaka. And that was the last three of the game for Erdison again. And how big will that three-pointer end up being? 79-65. UCAM Murcia win it at Pinar Karsiyaka. More quarterfinal action coming your way tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.